Oh my gosh, I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion! Wow!
Will anxiety be a villain in Inside Out 2? Or will it be the unexpected hero of the movie, just like sadness was in the first film? We already know that in Inside Out 2, joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust will need to share Riley's mind with other emotions. And so far, at least 4 more have been confirmed, with one of them already known: anxiety. And we've discovered absolutely everything about this somewhat different emotion that will be one of the most important characters in the continuation of this historic film. When Pete Docter, the creator and director of Inside Out, mentioned that Pixar was exploring the possibility of 22 emotions in the human mind in the first film, Inside Out fans were excited to discover what these emotions might be in the sequel, which was announced in 2022 during D23. But few people thought that anxiety would be the emotion that the filmmakers would emphasize the most. On the contrary, most thought that the most highlighted emotion in Inside Out 2 would be passion, as it is undoubtedly something very present during adolescence. Furthermore, after the first film, a 4-minute short film called Riley's First Date was released, showing Riley at 12 years old going out with Jordan, whom she claims is her friend and has a crush on her, to skate together. But the truth is that anxiety is something that is also present in everyone's life, especially during adolescence, which makes it completely sensible for it to be the highlighted emotion in the teaser of the second film. But as we know, she won't be the only one, since there will be 3 more new emotions in the movie aside from anxiety. One of them is embarrassed, which is closely related to passion, who is this big pink guy down here. But we'll talk about him in another video, if you want, of course. If you also feel embarrassed and are a fan of passion in some way and want to know everything about this other emotion in Inside Out 2, comment down below, #passion. But speaking of anxiety, there are many theories about it, including some that suggest it could be a character that will give a hard time to all the other emotions that have been with Riley since she was a baby. In other words, she will be nothing more and nothing less than a stranger in the house of emotions. And the worst part is that she will come with her bags packed and won't leave. That's because every human, no matter how experienced, always feels a bit of anxiety when trying something new. Furthermore, anxiety in teenagers and children is normal, as it is essentially a state of apprehension that can be felt both in the body and in thoughts. For example, in the body, anxiety is responsible for sensations like that famous lump in the throat, which prevents us from saying what we want, as well as a feeling of breathlessness and even a racing heart. And in these cases, these sensations can be caused by various reasons, but one of them is certainly when we see someone we like very much, or even when we just hear their voice. Hence the theory that passion may very well be another emotion now in Riley's mind. And moreover, she will interact quite a bit with anxiety, as the two are closely related. But anxiety is also responsible for many other things. Because of it, the mind can also be filled with worries and, above all, filled with ideas that things may go wrong. This is where the possibility of anxiety interacting with another emotion among those 4 new ones on the movie poster comes into play. We're talking about this little guy here at the end with his eyes closed, as if he's suspicious of everything and everyone, who will be the emotion of ennui. And if that's the case, anxiety and ennui would certainly get along well and could even form an alliance within Riley's head against all the other emotions. And if that happened, we would certainly know that the 2 of them would be the 2 villains of this new film, as it would be very harmful to Riley's mind and life, as she would be a teenager who would be afraid to do anything, because she would always doubt herself and her potential. In this sense, it would fit perfectly with the sports she practices, like hockey, or some other sport she might be practicing now, as some time has passed since the end of the movie, and she might also be professionally skateboarding with the help of Jordan, who would already be a part of the story and would trigger the emotion of passion, which would be embarrassed at certain moments. But because Riley wouldn't be as skilled in skateboarding as she is in hockey, anxiety would make her constantly doubt whether she could do well in something new she enjoys, but may believe she is not capable of. And in this sense, you can be sure that Riley's mind would be in complete chaos, with emotions fighting each other, as clearly Joy would not let all this happen without trying to stop it. And, therefore, Riley's mind would be completely divided, with one group of emotions on anxiety's side and another on Joy's side, creating a real emotional battle in the mind of a 13-year-old who would be increasingly confused and unsure of what to do. And, in this case, it is quite likely that fear sympathizes with anxiety and takes her side in this emotional division within Riley. This is because fear and anxiety are 2 closely related emotions, as fear is more related to the present and anxiety is insecurity about the future, meaning they are practically cousins. And if you look closely, so far, they are the two physically most different and quirky emotions. But even though several of the new emotions, and even those we know from the first film, like fear, may side with anxiety, there is also a strong chance that one of the new emotions will be on Joy's side for Riley's well-being. We're talking about this little girl here. Guys, just look at the size of the hands of this emotion. This indicates that she's going to be an emotion that will be portrayed in a cute and sweet way. But surprisingly, she is the emotion of envious. Envious, unfortunately, is a very strong feeling and emotion that can also arise and grow alongside anyone, especially during adolescence. It's also a time when we need to make decisions that can improve our lives. At this moment, envious can be present and enter into conflict with anxiety inside Riley's mind, as they may compete for space in the protagonist's head. But the truth is that anxiety, although it can be negative, will show its positive side throughout the film. And even though this narrative may seem similar to what we see in the first film with sadness, the truth is that they are two different things. That's because sadness's function is to show the reality that no one, anywhere, is happy and joyful all the time. Furthermore, sadness is also capable of making other people sympathize with our situation and get closer to us, often revealing who really cares about us. So letting sadness out can be a way to make someone feel better later, as was the case with Bing Bong. But when it comes to anxiety, it also has an important function for any human being. This is because of anxiety, anyone can prepare to avoid the threats they believe may occur in a given situation. Or it can help create strategies to face difficult and challenging situations, making the person better prepared for potential bad situations. And in this way, when a plan made to avoid the worst, motivated by anxiety and fear of failure or embarrassment, is likely to make Joy and anxiety get along well, especially after they both come up with a plan to help Riley. And that plan works out and everything goes well. This could be in some competition or even on a date with Jordan, or in both situations. But the fact is that it is very likely that we will see in Inside Out 2, after the emotional conflict they will probably have with each other, they will come together to balance Riley's thoughts and help her achieve her goals in the best way. That's why Inside Out 2 is likely to focus a lot on Riley's actions and teenage insecurity, but also on her achievements and accomplishments, which would be great to see in this new film. Another cool thing we'll see in the film that will definitely happen is seeing anxiety in the heads of Riley's parents and also in Jordan's head, since we will probably see the emotions of the boy who is Riley's crush a few times in the movie. And, no joke, just thinking about watching Inside Out 2 already makes me anxious. Did you notice how anxiety isn't always bad? Guys, this is what we know about anxiety, one of the main characters in Inside Out 2, a film that is eagerly awaited by millions of people around the world. And so you don't get too anxious and stop watching this awesome content here on the channel, we've selected these two amazing videos for you to watch. The one on the right is really cool.